What is my project today? Yes, it's all about the caulking, and I decided to use this stuff here, Dynaflex Ultra Advanced Exterior Sealant from DAP. It's light gray. Now granted, it's not going to match where I'm grouting. It's down next to these edges and where these potholes are down in here to protect this wood from dry rotting any further. There's a couple different areas like that. See there? There's one there. There's another one there. Here's another one up there. And all along the back side and on the sides and everything. And I decided to use this rather than clear silicone. You don't want to ever put clear silicone down like that if you're going to need to paint it. And this stuff here, see, lifetime mold, mildew, and algae resistant, and 1 hour rain and paint ready. That tells me I can paint this in case I ever need to, in case I get it up too high and stuff. And if you've been following me along, hopefully you have, this is just another episode of me fixing all of these stairs. The other day I put 2 coats of clear sealer on this wood, and granted, most of this wood is not going to be exposed when I get all done. I'm going to put aluminum stair tread material on here, as well as the risers. You'll have to watch all that stuff, but before that, hey, it's all in the prep, baby. And this is the next step, is caulking all this stuff, and I'll probably end up caulking some of this too. This is that glue lam beam material that they use for the stairs. And the reason why I'm doing all this kind of stuff, if you forgot or if you didn't watch that previous episode, all of these stair treads go backwards, flow backwards, so when the water comes down, it doesn't want to flow out until it builds up high enough to then come out, and then it puddles here high enough until it comes out. And whoever installed these 20 years ago, hey, shame on them for not checking that out first. And so before I put the stair treads on, I'm going to have to lift up the back of the stair tread and have it just a hair angled coming down. And you see all these screws? I'm going to have to adjust these screws. In fact, I'm going to take these screws out. These are drywall screws, and I'll take those out and put galvanized screws so that these never rust out. And I'm going to have to adjust those and all that kind of stuff. I had put these in here from before when I tried to float this out from about 3/4 of an inch down to nothing, or 3/4 of an inch down to about a 1/16 of an inch. And I did that 3 different winters before each winter, and it all cracked out, and I used all kinds of different things, and I thought, phooey on that. I'm not going to do anything like that. In fact, I don't think there's any contractor in the entire earth that would be able to guarantee floating this out with some sort of concrete material and having it go down, and then also floating over the face of this and floating over the sides there without that stuff ever cracking out after each winter. Because we get snow here, we get rain here, we get sleet here, we get ice here, we get all that kind of good stuff, and after each year that stuff cracks up. And I thought, forget this, I am not going through that again. I'm going to install aluminum stair treads. So that's what my project is. This whole video series is on that. And my first step, I put 2 coats of sealer on here because I want to protect this wood as best I can to keep it from dry rotting or anything. And granted, once I install all of the stair treads, I'll end up caulking the edges again, caulking the inside corners, caulking with clear silicone on the inside edges and where the screws are to mount this. And I was going to put clear silicone down on the edge too, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do that on the edges or not just yet. I might end up using this same stuff when I get that done, because this is paintable. See, 1 hour rain and paint ready. And I could do that, a nice little bead all the way around the outsides where the stucco meets the aluminum stair tread and the riser bits and all that kind of stuff. But then on the inside edge here, I may, in fact, I don't know if I have to put any silicone there or not, depending, because you'll see how I install this. You'll you'll see I probably won't have to put hardly any clear silicone, 100% silicone, other than where the screws are on the surface and on the vertical and the horizontal, the flat bit, the stair treads, as well as the risers. Okay, so I'm going to get ready to caulk that, and that's what I'm going to be working on today. I have no idea how much caulking it's going to take. I was just going to put a thin bead around the whole thing, but you see how much caulking I'm going to have to do in there. I don't have to make it perfect, as long as I got it caulked under there, because I'm going to end up, after I caulk tomorrow, after the caulking dries and everything, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to I've got some stucco patch material, and that stuff, that's going to work good too. You're gonna be interested in seeing the type of stuff I'm going to use for that. Okay, and so that'll be on my next few episodes after I get done with the caulking. And hey, if I don't use all the caulking, in fact, I got two tubes of caulking yesterday, and now I got another 5. I got 7 tubes of caulking, and if I have, you know, 2 or 3 tubes left, fine, I'll take them back next time I go to Home Depot. Okay, see this is not very good material on this wood, and that caulking is just going to help protect that. Even though my whole goal here is for no water to ever penetrate underneath the stair treads, on top of the wood stair treads, or on the sides, and going down underneath this whole thing, underneath the house and all that kind of stuff. But if it does, it's going to be very minimal, because that's why I'm filling all this stuff up, and it's going to protect this wood. Hey, this wood's 20 years old. I'd like for it to last another 20 years old if possible, or at least another 10 or so before even thinking about ripping these out. And if I can do this right, I think I can get there. Well, the caulking's coming along, and this is only the 3rd tube. I was afraid I wasn't going to have enough, because see how deep some of these are? It's been like that all the way up there, and I got a certain way to do it, but you know, those deep areas, I did those first. I filled those up and took a putty knife and flattened those down, the thick areas back in there, and I thought I would do those first, because this stuff skins up in an hour. Remember, 1 hour rain and paint ready. It's already skinning. It's skinning over the top. See? On those, now I can caulk some more under there. And you remember this this stucco right here is loose, so I still got to put a thin bead up in there and kind of spooge it up under there to get that to bond before I put the stucco patch on. That way the stucco patch won't bulge as much right there when I fill it in. It's always good to do that whenever you get ready to do a stucco patch. See right in here? You don't want that to push in when you're doing your stucco patch, because then you always have that ball, you know, that flexible area where it could crack later. So I'm going to caulk that, and I'm looking at this, and at first I was thinking, hey, maybe I don't have to, after I get everything caulked, maybe I won't have to put any stucco patch at all on. But I'm looking at this, and it's about 1/8 of an inch from here to the caulking in certain areas. And you see how this one dips down? I don't want to fill it. There's no way I can fill that perfectly with caulking. And I've got some stucco patching to do anyways, and so I'm thinking most of the areas I'm going to have to put the stucco patch in, because I don't want to make the assumption that my aluminum stair treads are going to cover all that, because if it doesn't, I don't want to have to thinking I can do some stucco patching over the aluminum stair treads. This stuff is sticky and it drops, and I would have to mask off the different stair treads and be real careful with it and clean up and all that kind of stuff. That's why I'm going to do the stucco patch next. And if it gets on the wood, hey, that's okay. After it dries, then I'll scrape it up and sweep down these stairs again. Okay, so I'm thinking it's gonna be okay like that. And there's certain areas when I get done all the way, I'll go back and see, because see there's a little bit of an area under there that if I put a little bit more caulking, maybe it'll keep this from moving around the stucco patch along in there. And then I want to look under this edge and make sure I've got all of it in case any water comes down there. It's not going to go under. See, there's a couple little spots, one there and one down in there. See, so when that dries, I'll put a little bit more in there. And I started caulking the edges between this concrete that's floated over the stair riser and the asphalt, or the stucco. And see, I did those over there, and I thought I'm gonna wait until I get done, make sure I've got enough caulking in them. Oh, I know I've got enough caulking now. And then I'll hit some of this stuff too, because even though that's going to be underneath the aluminum stair treads, I don't want any moisture getting under there, and plus I don't want these getting any worse than they are. So this stuff is going to be like plan B, protecting the material the best I can. Because see, along in here I'll probably hit here, along in here, this area I'll do right in here, that little bit up here I'll hit this edge, you know, put the caulking on there and take a putty knife on it, or just my finger. And so, you know, I'm gonna check out this whole thing before I get done and before I call it good. I want to make sure I do the best I can. Hey, it doesn't take any longer, hardly, to do it right than to do it wrong.